Hi there. I am so glad that you took the time to download this freebie from me. This is called the Confident Money Calculator. I called it the Confident Money Calculator because my goal is that you and as many people as possible learn to manage their money so that you feel confident and peaceful and really powerful about how you're handling your finances. So this is the first step, is to get complete clarity on really what it costs to be you. So I'm just going to give you a quick overview on how to use this tool. The first thing you're going to want to do, as you can see, it says start here, make a file, click file, make a copy, and rename the budget for yourself. This is because this particular link is a read only. You won't be able to fill anything out until you make a copy of it. So you just go up here, say file, make a copy, and I'm just going to call this Anita's budget, and we'll make a copy. Now you'll be able to edit this form and put in your own numbers as soon as it pops up for me. Okay, so you can just read through here, and when you're ready to move on, you move to the instructions, which you'll find on this tab down here. And see another link to this video. If you haven't already, go ahead and make that copy of this file so that you'll be able to put in your own numbers. And the first thing you're going to want to do is gather any usernames or passwords that you have so you can be ready to open those up, look at your numbers, and be able to plug some of this in for yourself. And I want you to know that once you've made a copy of this sheet, I don't have access to this, nor does anyone else, unless you specifically use this share button and share it with someone else. So it's totally confidential. You don't have to worry about anyone seeing it. And also, if you are connected to the internet, this form is just going to auto-save. You may not be able to fill it all out in one go. That's perfectly normal. So just work on it as you can, but make a commitment to finishing this process, because until you finish the process, you're not really getting the complete clarity that you need. And I want you to know, if at any time you feel totally overwhelmed and like you just want to throw your hands up in the air and give up, I totally understand that. It's very normal for people to feel overwhelmed when it comes to looking at their money, because it may be something that you've been avoiding for a really long time. And I just want to normalize that for you. It's absolutely okay to feel your feelings, but do make that commitment to yourself that you are going to change things in your life, and this is just part of the process. So go as slowly through this or as quickly as you need to. And if you ever need my help while you're going through this, I have links on each of these pages for setting up a complimentary call with me. So if at any time you need that extra support, just reach out and we'll jump on a call. So once you've gathered all your usernames and passwords, you're going to go through the next sections and delete any expenses that don't apply to your life. And you're going to fill in amounts for income, accounts, debts, expenses, etc. You can use your best guess on some of these. On the income and accounts and debts, I recommend you get as close as you can. The expenses, you have a little bit of leeway. You don't need to know exactly how much you spend on groceries each month. You can either give that your best guess, or if you want to be really accurate about these numbers, just go through your bank statements online and check out any grocery store purchases that you had for the last 3 months. Just add those up and divide by 3, and that's going to give you a pretty good idea of what you spend on average for groceries per month. And then we've got a results tab at the end that's going to show you all the numbers that we put in a very easy to read place right here. Your monthly income, accounts total, debts total, and monthly expenses. So here is where, expenses is where you would be deleting anything that doesn't apply to your life. So the way you do that is you can click on one of these lines. I'm going to just take out the HOA community fees. I don't have an HOA, so you just right click and delete that row. Let's say I don't have a pest control company either, right click, delete that row. If you need to add anything, let's say you make like a monthly donation to somewhere. You can say donations. The same process, you just right click and insert a row above or below. So anything that doesn't apply, just go ahead and take that out. If you need to add something, right click and add that line. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the income. Let's just work from left to right. And we're going to put in just the numbers for what you earn from your W-2 job. If you have a regular job, this is most people here. Let's go ahead and say I make $3,000. Maybe you have a business. You'll enter that here. Maybe you have a side hustle. Let's say you do pet sitting and you make $300 a month. You can see that this calculator is just going to add it up for you. It's really nice and easy. That's all you do. If these don't apply to you, just leave them blank. And here's a section for any notes that you may have, like ask for a raise. These are notes for yourself, or if you've got questions for me that you want to go over later, go ahead and put those here as well. And here's that link I was telling you about. If you get overwhelmed at any point, just go ahead and click this, and it's going to direct you to book a call with me. And just go ahead and select any time that works for you. Just make sure you've got your time zone selected first. All right. So we've finished the income section. Now we're going to go to the accounts section. Same kind of process here. You're just going to enter in any checking accounts you have. Let's say I have a Wells Fargo and a Bank of America. And you'll just put in whatever your balance is on those accounts. Let's say I've got 4,000 here, 500 here. And you'll see again that those are added up in your checking total. You don't have to do any math. Savings accounts, I'm just going to say I've got a Wells Fargo. Let's say there's $2,000 in there. Okay, once again, you see savings is added up, and then you've got a total of checking and savings as well. Again, section for any notes that you have, questions for me, and a link if you need help. Next, we'll move on to the debts. Go ahead and put in any debts you have here, like student loans. Let's say I have a car loan and a personal loan. Any loans you have here, if you've got a mortgage, you may or may not want to put that in here. We'll put it in the monthly expenses section. If you want it to reflect in your total debt on this page, then you can go ahead and put in the balance of your mortgage if you would like to. So let's say for student loans, I owe $10,000. Car loan has $3,000 left, and a personal loan of $1,000. Let's see, once again, that calculator has added it up. Any notes or questions, just go ahead and put here. And if you feel overwhelmed, I am here for you. So please, please don't give up on this process. I know it can be scary to look at your numbers, but it is absolutely worth it. And it's going to give you so much clearer of an idea of where you stand and where you can make some changes. But if you don't know where you stand, you really can't make educated choices about spending and saving. So this is the first step to really get that clarity. All right, once you finish the debts, you move on to the expenses. And we're just going to put in all the amounts for expenses here. I'm just going to put in a bunch of random numbers. So don't pay too much attention to that. These are not my real numbers. I just want to show you how this works. And I'm probably not going to fill all of this out because that seems like a waste of time for both you and I. And I think you'll get the idea pretty quickly here. So let's say rent is $1,000. Okay, renter's insurance is $15. Let's say electricity is around $120. Water is $50. Cable is $0 because I don't have cable. Let's say internet is $120. Streaming services $50. As you can see, you just move on down the list, see what you got, put the numbers in. Let's say my monthly average on groceries is 500. I'm going to say for gas, 200. Once again, this is one of those things that you can just estimate. Groceries, gas, things like that, your clothing that you spend money on. You can just go ahead and take a look at your bank statements and add up the last 3 months of expenses that you had for those things and divide by 3 if you want a super accurate number. Otherwise, just use your best guess. And it's always better to aim a little high because we tend to aim lower on some of those things when we are guessing. My dog costs a ton of money because he has a lot of heart conditions and things, but we're getting through it, and he's draining my funds, but it's worth it because we love them, right? Okay, let's say for medication and prescriptions, 100, fitness, I'm going to say 50. Dining out, that's another one of those that you can use a 3-month average or just use your best guess. And that's all I'm going to put in for now. Oh, actually, one important one would be here, any monthly loan payments you have, you're going to want to insert a line for each one that you have here. So we said that we had a student loan, a car loan, and a personal loan. So just show you what that would look like here. Car loan, go ahead and put that in, personal loan. And I'm going to call this one student loan. And just put in what it is monthly for you. Let's say on the student loan, I pay 100, car loan, I pay 150, personal loan, I pay 0. Let's say that's an interest-free loan from my mother who's just patiently waiting. That can be 0. Quarterly expenses and annual expenses, you will just leave these ones blank. Don't fill this out. It will auto-populate below. So if you have quarterly expenses, that happens once every 3 months, like maybe your waste management bill, you're going to want to put that down here. Let's say I have sewer fees of $120 every quarter. And you'll see that the quarterly expenses show up here as $220, but they also show up back here in monthly expenses. So what this did is basically divide 220 by 12 to work out what you would need to save monthly to make sure that you are ready to make those quarterly payments as well. Because we want to make sure that we are planning for not just the monthly expenses, but quarterly expenses, annual expenses, things like that, that people often forget about and then get surprised. You know, things like that Amazon Prime membership down here. Say that's $119, I think. Say I have some apps that I pay annually. Maybe I have some sort of a membership somewhere, car registration, any credit card annual fees. And once again, those annual expenses will add up here. But then you're going to also see that they came up here as well. This is just divided by 12. I'm sorry, I think I said divided by 12 up here on quarterly. What I meant was divided by 3. And the annual is divided by 12. Once again, so you can save monthly for all those quarterly and annual expenses. So down here, you're going to see the total, including the quarterly and annual, that you would need to be setting aside each month to pay for all of these expenses. Here it says $3,224. If you have any notes or questions, there's another section here. Once again, if you need to book a call, absolutely feel free to do that. So now that we've filled all that out, we can go to the results tab, and you can see that the monthly income shows here as $4,300. I have $6,500 total in my accounts. I owe a total of $14,000, and my monthly expenses are $3,224. So the good news here is that my monthly expenses do not exceed my monthly income. That's pretty important. If your monthly expenses exceed your monthly income, you have a couple options, and that is to increase your income in some ways, maybe by asking for a raise, picking up some extra work, things like that, or by cutting down on some of the expenses that you have. Maybe some things that are a little bit more negotiable, like buying new clothes. So this is just the synopsis of what your life looks like right now financially. It doesn't mean that this is your story moving forward. This is just the first step so that you can make educated decisions on how to move forward. So this is just one snapshot in time, but what you'll want to have is some sort of a process for budgeting moving forward. That means keeping track of those expenses, making sure they're in line with your income. A lot of people use either an envelope system or an Excel spreadsheet to track those things. There are some apps out there for tracking those. I also teach a system for tracking your expenses and being able to save for different goals and things like that. So it's the same system I have used for 9+ years, and that's what I teach other people to do. And that's where you would go from here. So if you would like my help with that, I would absolutely love to speak with you. And if you just need help with this spreadsheet, please just give me a ring. Just go ahead and make that appointment here. You can also see some testimonials from other clients who have worked with me in the past on getting control of their money. So good luck. I know you're going to do great at this. Once again, be easy on yourself. It may take you, a few days to fill out. That's okay. You may just want to get it done in one shot and see it all. Either way is totally great. Just commit to completing this process so that you can finally get really clear on what it costs to be you. I hope to talk to you soon.